Hello everybody and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB and welcome to GP2. Before we do anything, let's run through the driver standings because right now having a bit of issue with the constructors. We will sort that out and rectify it by next week. Electro Dan is in P1 ahead of Mike Bundy in P2. Gold Colors is in P3. Pedal Solheim in P4. And Yoram is in P5, though he's not here tonight. P6 is Linel. P7 is Zoka. P8 is Ramovaj, the returning driver. P9 is T. Jonas, P10 is Smaddy Badger, P11 is Scented Crumpets, also known as Cattle. P12 is Farfborough, and P13 is Fletcher Boy, who is now dropped to a reserve drive. More on that soon. Festa is in P14, sorry. Twan is in P16, but he has got a damaged wheel. He's unable to join us. In P17, Orchard Socks. P18 is him, Carl, but he has since left. P18 is Gaming Things. He has moved to GP3. Now, there's other news in that, but before we talk about all of the news in SFR, I'm here to bring in a Norwegian. But I borrowed one. We have a lot of Norwegians in SFR. I borrowed one for commentary tonight. Everybody, meet Z Trexter. How are you doing, my friend?
Very well, my friend. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we tried to get Z Trexter on commentary before, as I go through Bucy, for the GP3 division 2 weeks ago, when last week, when the PlayStation Network decided not to work. So, yeah, that was annoying, but still, this is great to have you up in the commentary booth. Obviously, a Premier driver. Don't get many of you lot up here in commentary. It's quite comfortable up here, isn't it?
It's always comfortable in commentary. Like, you can't bottle it for sure. Not in the same way, at least.
Oh, I don't know. I've said a lot of things that could be cast as bottling it. But yes, let's get on to the news. Josh Fletcher has now decided that he wants a reserve role, and that's totally accepted. He is now going to be reserving for us. The Norwegians are taking over. Yes, he possibly are. Yeah, we should have some running the league soon. That's where I tender my resignation. No, I'm kidding. So in his place, we have brought back a very old face to SFR. Everybody, Honey Badger has returned to us. The fastest Dutchman on wheels, making Max Verstappen look like an amateur. Oh, wait, not difficult. We also have a couple of GP3 drivers in here tonight. We have to welcome Owen to the league, another Norwegian driver, because they are taking over. We're welcoming him to the league to learn and to push more. Him, Carl, and Gannick have since left the league because I believe we don't know fully why, but they have. But we're assuming it's because 2019 is coming out so in a few weeks. I mean, how excited are you, Z Trexter, for 2019 Formula One?
I don't know what to say. Can't it just come on now?
Yeah, everyone wants it now.
I can't wait. It's like keeping improving your race pace and stuff. Now is so frustrating when you know there's a new game right around the corner and you don't know if you're going to be that good on that game.
That's exactly why we shortened the championship here in SFR, to make it as entertaining as we could as a goodbye to 2018. This game has had so many issues, though. Hopefully 2019, with the fact they partnered with another company to help them, is going to be the best thing to do. And I've just had the weather report from the Red Bull team, which is the weather report, saying dry all sessions, so we won't see the rain that we had last night in GP3 as a Williams leads the garage. That looks to be Yaram, who has made it tonight on his birthday. Well, but no, he's got stops for the Alfa Romeo launching. Go on what you were saying there, sorry.
Well, first of all, dry weather, then it's going to be a slipstream party all the way until the end, so that's definitely going to bring us some fun. Secondly, I think I forgot what I was saying.
Missed turns 1 and 2 already.
I think I slipped it there. I definitely did. Oh, that is just my memory. It's like, yeah, it's good for 2 minutes maximum.
That's all right. It's welcome to my world, mate. On commentary, this is basically all you have to do. Hello, stupid fat kid. How are you doing? I do apologise for saying that name out loud. But it's no. This track always brings good journey. In GP3 last night, we had a wet to dry race, which claimed the
Whoa.
Go on.
Is it just me? Didn't he say he wasn't driving?
I believe he said that he was, but maybe he's found time. So happy birthday to Yaram.
Well,
it is his birthday today.
Good.
Yeah, it is very good for him. I thought he said he wasn't driving, but very well done to him. Yeah, happy birthday to him.
Secondly, though,
God Collins had actually asked her a question and no one turned up to his party. Well, that's if I will throw him a party as he comes onto his lap now in the Williams.
not interesting to notice though, but the tires is pretty spread right now. We have a couple of guys on mediums, a couple on softs, and pretty much a couple of supers, so could be interesting to see if somebody wants to make a long stint in the beginning to have a quick stint and recover in the end.
It will be interesting, yeah.
Well, it is the best strategy in my opinion to go softs to supers if they can.
Well, look at that.
Basically, if they believe they're quick enough.
Yaro's made a big mistake though. He's skimmed the gravel, and that's his qualifying lap over on board with Fefster now. I was just about to mention that he was starting to come up to the back of his teammate in the other Williams, Gerard Van Doom, the GP3 driver, who's come in to cover him. That shows that might have put him off a little bit, mightn't it?
Maybe a small. I'm watching Honey Badger right now as he started his lap. He had a small lock up into turn 1. That's probably going to be a small issue for him in the beginning of the race. Trying to stay ahead of pretty much everyone who uses ABS, because that corner is really the one corner you can struggle with non-assist on this track.
Here comes Fefster in the Alfa Romeo, just about to finish his lap time off. Now it's a 1:21.5 as the opening lap time. Here comes Centre Crumpets though. And in fact, no, it was second to 1:21.596. So very close there, but both beaten by C. Pasley, the GP3 driver, who is showing his worth as a driver. I think he's starting to show that he wants to be in a higher division.
And Honey Badger going very well out of Ascari, and I think he has invalidated his lap.
Actually, just following the other Mercedes right now. The Mercedes just starting his lap, but here comes Honey Badger, bailing the pit lane.
Alright, so he might have flat spotted his soft tires.
That is highly likely. That
flat spotted. You don't do that in the game, but like you wear them out by looking up.
Whoa! Peter Solheim taking pole position right now. Obviously, nothing confirmed yet as his teammate goes up to 4th. McLaren have been struggling. I don't know how much you followed the GP2 this season. They have been struggling recently, but they're now up to they're now starting to push more. I believe they're about 3rd in the championship. I'm not sure. It's just hello, Billy. How are you doing? This is all fantastic already, like building up. It shows that qualifying is going to get important around here because this track is not the easiest to pass at, is it?
Oh, well, I gotta disagree with you there. Like, this track is probably one of the easiest to get past. All you gotta do is be able to stick closely enough ahead through Ascari. If you're within 5/10 after Ascari, you should easily pass them on the long straight. Possibly before Parabolica too, with a good exit. So,
Electro down going P2. But he's on a different strategy as well.
So it's really not that big of a deal if you aren't on pole or second. You can still pass a lot of driver during the race, and that's one of the reasons I think the soft to supers are the best strategy.
Lee Nell made a mistake there, having a big kick of oversteer, which knocked him off onto the edge of Parabolica. Struggling with that Red Bull he has been for the past couple of weeks. Here's Joe Biogan, the reserve GP3 driver, coming down the field and crossing line into P9, showing that there's so many drivers in GP3. They're on the cusp of wanting to come into GP2, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, Bogan has improved a lot lately. Like, he's just started playing the game a few weeks ago, so the fact that he's come so far as he has already is kind of amazing, actually. And if he can keep improving with this rhythm, I think he will definitely be going to GP2 next season, at least.
Hello, Caswell. How are you? This is infinitely fun.
And
go on.
To sum it up, though, it really that's the kind of thing with the drivers down in the lower divisions. They have much more potential to get out than drivers who are already quicker.
Well, Mike Bundy
to improve for them.
Wow. There's such a difference, though, between the mediums and the softs. I feel that the medium tyres are still struggling on those cars, aren't they? Or it takes a couple of laps for them to get in.
I mean, you don't want to quality on mediums there. Like you can do a good strategy with medium tires, but if Bundy is really gonna do his quality on mediums, he's got to do 1 or 2 laps more to actually have the proper heat in them and do a good lap.
On board with Yara now. Ascari, much like Belgium at Eau Rouge and Radion, is very slippy on this game because of the suspension changes they did with the cars. It shows that it's a lot more difficult than rather just like plant the throttle and just go into those corners, isn't it?
Well, I mean, there's 2 answers to that. It is yes, because it is kind of, but if you get the suspension right and the wings correctly, you can't just fly through there like you did on the previous game too. So it's kind of a split answer there.
I think it's also down to line as well. If you take the wrong line into that corner, you are
definitely
going off.
And curb, you gotta hit the curb right. You gotta ride the curb, but you gotta make sure that your tire is on kind of the green part and not the curb itself, because that upsets the suspension and then you can just fly out. It's a tricky one to get exactly right.
It's always going to be interesting to see how the different people take interpretations with their setups and all that. Some people, personally, I always like the car that was much heavier in the corners and sort of fought you, because I liked having to grind the car across the surface of the track to try and get there. But with it now, I mean, to be fair, what I'm doing now as a driver actually helps that driving style. But in Formula One, it's different. I mean, do you prefer a lighter car, one that sort of snap point and squirt, as you will? So you point it, just hit the throttle, and you just go for it.
Well, I mean, for me, I want my car to respond instantly. I want to check the car right into every corner and just slam it down as quickly as possible. But in the end, though, it's not about how you do it. It's about getting through the corner the quickest way possible. So if the grinding method feels the best way and is the quickest, then it doesn't really matter what style you use.
Bester currently P1 in the lap times, but it's just been beaten by Honey Badger of 1:19.8. So what's that? 2 seconds quicker? 2 seconds quicker. 2 tenths quicker?
2.5 tenths around there.
On board now with Owen, who's replaced Gamey Things in the Renault team. Gamey Things moving down to Mercedes in GP3. That's not down to saying that he was slow. We did a test with him there, and he feels so much more comfortable in GP3. Congratulations to him, though. He got a podium on his second time out after France on Monday, but his second time on a Tuesday race gained him a podium. So well done to Gamey Things. But now on board with Owen, Norwegian driver. I believe you know him a little bit better than I do.
Well, I gotta admit it. I don't know him too well. I've known him for a couple of days, so I haven't actually talked to him in a party or anything. So can't say I do. Obviously, I talked a little more during messages than you guys probably, but can't say I know him too well yet. Haven't seen him drive yet either.
Always wide, using all the track and more. Is the Renault coming up? You have a nice toe on the Williams though, crossing the line. That's P4 for a win.
It's a good time. Ooh, and Pedro has gone down in the 19s too, just 1.5 tenths off Honey Badger.
Leonardo said he's doing some
practicing.
practicing.
The last part of the session. How much further do you think the drivers can take the lap downs?
Well, it's all interesting. I reckon the times are going to get much closer to Honey Badger's time as he goes on. If he retires now, he'd be in a little bit more danger because the fast guy's coming through. Obviously, the track is now starting to get rubbered in. Drivers are coming out on for super soft tyres and for softer tyres to try and slice their way up the standings. Obviously, right now, some of them being out qualified by GP3 drivers, and that will really aggravate their egos. So they're going to want to get up and pass them. Yellow flag to the Ascari, though. Not sure what's that for. Norway biting hard, says T. Jonas. Yeah, they are. On board now.
You make a good point there. The track is going to be faster, and I do mean with drivers like Honey Badger. I've driven against him before, and I would kind of expect him to be in the low 19s and not the high. Obviously, with the assist that he has taken off Racing Line, that could affect it. But I think we're gonna go further down in the 19s than we are.
I think that we're going to hit about 19.3 at peak. I think. And that'd be really fun to see what.
19.3
Yeah,
is
19.3.
around where
Oh,
I
just
think.
says made a mistake though. Lesmo won. He runs out wide and clatters the Haas into the gravel. Psychomich just starting his lap. Yeah, it does happen. This track, the Lesmos on this game, I feel are so much harder to actually drive through, if you know what I mean.
I do know what I mean, but that depends. Are you driving with manual or automatic gears?
Automatic, because I'm a pleb.
Oh yeah, then they can be a real pain to get through. After I switched over to manual, it got a lot easier, and that's the thing about this game and a lot of corners actually.
Well,
they don't feel good until you're on manual and you can be in another gear basically.
I've just received a message from my Red Bull replacement, Lionel. Obviously, I used to race in Red Bull and Haas in SFR, a bit of Force India as well. Was the Racing Point team is now Force India, now Racing Point. He said the last season's pole was a 1:19.7, so we're not quite there yet for GP2 to be beating last season. But you'd have thought they would have done it.
Well, I mean, I would expect Peter to be closer to that at least when we're done with this session. I turning it a little against him, and he's pretty much equal with me on pace on Austria at least. I don't know about Italy, but I know that myself I can go down in the 18s here, so I do expect some of these drivers to be closer to the low 19s at least.
Ryan Van Doom in the Williams, our favourite supervillain, pops up in the P6. If you're wondering where Alex is why Alex isn't with us tonight, Premier Rex in GP3, our normal commentator, he's off watching Avengers, the lucky sod, so I'm stuck with the Norwegian. It's alright, mate. We always enjoy having you here. I know. It's horrible, isn't it? I don't have any national clothes, though, to wear this time. If you'd been with us in Austria, you would have saw me in lederhosen, and that was that was a thing, because being ex-Red Bull, I still am part of the Red Bull family, even though I drove for Haas in my final season in SFR. I like to remember to be part of Red Bull, spokesman for Red Bull. Don't drink Red Bull. I'm kidding.
I see a lot of guys in the pits now. Obviously, everyone is waiting for the last lap.
Psychomich in the Haas, struggling on traction, is making to pit lane. I think we might. Ryan Van Doon's on an in lap. I think Oliver's going to be on an in lap as well because he's 7 seconds off.
Yeah, well,
Ryan Van Doon's on an in lap.
Yeah, he's on 3 laps old, super, so he's definitely on an in lap.
Let's just run through the GP3 drivers we have in tonight. We have Psychomich, JB Ogan, C. Pasley, Pro Oliver, and Ryan Van Doom are the 4 however number GP3 drivers here to come and give us a nice show and fill the grid in GP2. We got Lionel on a lap, about to start a lap, same with Farfra, so we'll follow one of them around. We're looking on Lionel. Had a good run last season in the second half of the season and became a big championship contender, and the race coming down to it in Abu Dhabi, and it just unfortunately went the other man's way. T. Jonas is in P10. But it does seem like this season that T. Jonas and Lionel have not got the same pace they had last season. Maybe their car switches have not gone the way they wanted to.
Well, to be fair, today Lionel is actually doing his last lap on soft tires, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. Like, if he can put himself inside the top 10 on those tires, he's in a good position.
You know, the worst part is, though, he's going to come out in a butt ton of traffic when all those drivers come out, isn't he?
Not necessarily. That depends how good he is on his tires, how much he is able to push on the old soft tires, because when those drivers go out, go into pit, they will be pitting over to either softs or mediums, and everyone pitting over to mediums will use at least maybe 2 laps to get their tires heated up. So that's why this strategy could be the best if you can qualify good enough.
On board with you now. Going to do a ride long lap with the Red Bull. No, that might have been an invalidation on the last lap, has it? No,
But he's
he's
still
still going.
pushing.
Coming through Curve de Grande now.
He is not pushing anymore.
You sure?
He's definitely not pushing.
Oh, definitely not now after that. So, jumping on board with Farfra. Apparently, this chicane might be disappearing. That's heartbreakingly now last year's championship contender. Unfortunately, out of qualifying here in Monza. But apparently, they was meant to be getting rid of that chicane, but they need like $1 billion to get rid of those to get rid of the chicane for track resurfacing and all that. And they asked the FIA for help, and they told them to go somewhere else. But following the Renault now, his teammates in P4. Where can Farfra go? He's not got Alex here to curse him, so maybe it's a podium time.
I can tell you that Pedro is not going to go quicker. He messed up his lap in the first corner.
Oh, it's always the worst at the Retifidio. I believe that's the Retifidio.
I think... on the other hand, is going around, so he will be trying to improve his time.
I believe as the clock strikes 0, and here comes Farfra to finish his lap. First person is P3 for Farfra. What a good lap. Immediately beating his teammates out so far. But the other Renault is on track now, just behind some traffic. Let's go on board with Orchard Socks as Lee Nell pulls into pit lane, apologising to the team. I messed it up. Here comes the Irishman going out wide at Descari. Same with the other Renault. They're now pushing hard. Where can the Haas driver go? His teammate, the GP3 driver, is in P16 right now.
Oh, and there Honey Badger is done too. He messed up Ascari. As he said, it could be slippery, and that's what he experienced.
P18. Owen is the fastest man on track at 1 minute 19.7. The Renault driver showing that he has worth in his first event here. Where's Yarum going to go? Look at the Williams. What can he do? He's wide. He's very wide. He's insufferably wide.
That might have been invalidated.
It's P7.
It's 8.
Peter Solheim is in the pit lane, so that means for the first time ever in SFR, Owen is on pole position.
Faster.
No, he's on a slow lap.
My bad.
They're parked up on the corner after killing a Ferrari. But there we go. Thank you, AI, for those spectacular crashes. But Owen is on pole position in the Renault. Hopefully that car isn't as damaged as it is now at the start of the race. That was nice and
interesting to notice, though, but Yarham did do a 19.5. Obviously, it was invalidated, but that means that starting in 7th, we could possibly see him trying to move his way up the field as quickly as possible.
Qualifying now over. It says contact. This is not real. Obviously, that's all AI. Mike Bundy finishing 6th. Let's run through the grid in a moment. But I believe it's called the Retifidio because it's right then left. I think that's what that means in Italian. Retifidio, right left. I think that's it.
No idea.
My Italian is very, very limited. Lee now saying, well done, 1970. Yeah, Lee showing off. Set a lap time next time. So, for the first time ever, the Norwegian driver, Owen, is on pole position ahead of the Flying Dutchman in P2 by 83 thousandths of a second. Peter Solheim is in P3 and Farfra is in P4. Fester is in P5. Mike Bundy is in P6. Yarum is in P7. Ryan Van Doom is in P8. Electrodown is in P9. And Pro Oliver in P10 for GP3. Outside of the top 10 and with 3 tyre choices is Psychovic in P11. C-Pass in P12. T. Jones in P13. God Colors in P14. Celtic Crumpets in P15, Smelly Badger in P16, JB Ogan in P17, Orchard Stocks in P18, and Lee Nell in P19.
Slipstream party.
It's going to be fun. If anyone's interested in the IndyCar series, they're currently rained off for their practice right now. So we're just sat here waiting. I've got the stream up on my phone. So I've got my phone and my tablet. So the tablet's showing the SFR stream, the phone's showing the IndyCar stream, and nothing's happened.
Pretty much the same for me.
I do love when we talk about all of this. But no, this track is brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, it's one of my favorites, I gotta say that.
One of the oldest tracks in Formula 1 as well.
Yeah, and it's just quick, basically. Like, you really need the pace to be together when you hit this track, because like, the tiniest mistake around here costs you so much time because the speed is just high everywhere. And
But what I
Yeah.
find interesting about this track, basically all the setups are the same, aren't they? They're basically all the same, skinny wings, and just pray they hold on in the corners, isn't it?
Well, that depends. Well, where you've seen setups, is that in time trial you're talking about then, or are you talking about race setups?
I was talking race setups, they're mainly the same. Because they can only do so much.
There's
Look at Owen really going
differences.
for it on the formation lap. Fester and Farfborough disqualified. Farfborough has a real chance at the podium tonight if he can get ahead of one of the drivers in front, can't he?
Well, yeah. Like I would say, I think it is Yarham that is the highest soft runner at the moment.
It is.
He is, I would say that he's probably the driver with the biggest chance for the win because of the fact that he's going to be on supers in the end. But that is obviously if he can avoid trouble in the beginning and if he can heat up his tires before start.
Red Bull
struggles with cold tires, then he could fell down pretty far. And then it's different.
But we've seen it with Red Bull this season, mainly for the last two races, the 71 and 72 cars, Smelly Badger and Lee Nell. They qualified quite badly, but they come through the field like absolute rocket ships. Lee Nell finishing 4th in Austria when he started, pretty much in 19th.
Well, you know, like pretty much starting on the quicker tire is rarely the best strategy to go on if you're not thinking about quality. But the thing is that you have quality and you don't want to be too far down. But because of that, everybody is going for the quicker tire usually. And that's what makes you see those incredible 17th to 2nd suddenly, stuff like that.
Look at that, the AI passing through the leader. Even the AI can't keep formation at this point. So, for the first time ever...
Never been good at that.
How do you reckon this feels for Owen, though? His first race here in SFR, first time in the Renault car on track, and he's gone and got pole position.
Well, I mean, pole position is a small part of the race. The big part is coming now, and it's now he really got to be able to do those laps consistently for the whole race.
Well, we're about to click over to 5 red lights here in Italy. The 5 red lights are on now. The lights are out. Now the drivers are away. It's a very quick start, though, for the drivers. And Petter Solheim getting the better start out of the top 3. He's drawing alongside Owen, who's already dropped down between Honey Badger and Petter Solheim. Petter Solheim is going to be carnage into turn 1. I can feel it. Someone's pulled to the inside. And it's all going through clean, and Farfborough into P3. Owen struggling up the start. No, there's contact, and Fester is wide. Honey Badger, a time penalty for cutting corners already, and everything's gone wrong in Monza. JB Ogun's dropped down to P18. Psychomich further down to P19, and Lee Nell ahead of his teammate now. They're all going for it now, aren't they?
I mean, it's Monza. Everyone wants this win. It's as simple as
T. Jonas, he's been caught in something, hence the Pasley is round. Psychomich is trying to get it all sorted as well. T. Jonas caught in that. He started in P12, so something's gone wrong with that McLaren as well, so maybe he got squeezed off. Ochosox a 5-second stop and go penalty for gaining a position under yellow flags. He gained 2 places under yellow flags, sorry. Now Fester hunting down centre crumpets. That's a poor line. Some drivers clearly not doing enough.
Will we see any team orders from the Renault drivers, or will they battle it out?
I think they'll battle.
Doesn't look like we will see team orders, which is a good thing. I want to see the slipstream.
JB Ogun dropping past Lee now, obviously with damage. Petter Solheim leads us away, and now here comes the Renault battle. Remember, never hit your teammate is rule number 1 in Formula 1. And he goes ahead, Owen. Yeah, it is easy, but there's a little bit of a kiss from the other drivers. He couldn't get it slowed down enough. Electro Dan and Ryan Van Doon fighting now. And Psychomich getting a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding into pit lane. This pit lane is difficult, isn't it?
Well, it is a little difficult. Like, you're pretty much going straight out of Parabolica straight into the pit. So...
Sector 1's yellow flag. It's Autostox. Autostox is out of the session. We'll see if we can find it. Has he retired on track? He has retired on track.
It was in
It's a-
Curva I believe.
Yeah, he's retired in track for some reason.
But he is just
Pro
retired.
Oliver in the barriers.
Oh, and look at this, Honey Badger making his way up after his difficult start up to third again.
Sector 2 yellow flags down to Pro Oliver, and Orchard Sox leaving the session after retiring. Unsure what caused that now. But a virtual safety car has been deployed for something. I think it might have been for Orchard Sox's car, which is a little bit unfair to the drivers, isn't it? Oh. I think that might be a penalty there.
It is like if you retire and then...
Oh, Pasley's gone too. Two drivers out of the session, Orchard Sox and C. Pasley. Now under virtual safety car. We saw a collision in under the virtual safety car last time. Jokes to C. Pasley, mate, if you need to, take it to the stewards. But obviously we saw collisions under the virtual safety car last week in France. Hopefully we don't see it again. C. Pasley leaving the session, not happy at all on the radio. But this safety car is going to really aggravate some drivers, especially if they're having to alter their speed because of it. I will, says C. Pasley. Oh, okay. Good to know, mate. DRS back enabled, though drivers are going at full speed, and Farfra unfortunately cutting a corner as he tries to hunt down and pass Honey Badger. He's got some absolutely tremendous speed tonight, trying to hunt down Honey Badger.
Oh, trying it.
Oh, Honey Badger's wide!
And Honey Badger going wide.
The Flying Dutchman almost flying off the track.
What is Farfra doing?
Farfra
Did
is
I
doing...
just see right that he just clipped the wall?
No, I didn't hear anything from Farfra. He's going wide, though. He's got damage on that Renault by the looks of it. And he has forced Honey Badger off the track by something happened. But here comes the other Mercedes, streaming past his teammate. Sector 3, yellow flag, Centre Crumpets is out. Is that a safety car? It's a big accident at Ascari. Very reminiscent to when we saw David Coulthard bid it on pole position many years ago in Formula 1. I wonder if there's damage on Farfra's car, because I didn't see him clip the wall.
Well, I saw... It could be lag for me, possibly. But he did clip the wall for me
Mercedes!
after the lessons.
Honey Badger trying his absolute hardest to get past Farfra. It hasn't happened. Locking up into turn 1. He's under attack from Ryan Van Doom, our favourite supervillain. I love that name. Hopefully he likes it too. But there you go. Mike Bundy on the inside.
He probably does.
Mike Bundy trying to defend from Farfra, who's bouncing over the curves. Ryan Van Doom trying to get past Honey Badger. It has happened. Honey Badger, something's happening with that Mercedes, and it's not going well, is it?
Well, I'm just... Without racing line, this is one of... You should think this track is easy without racing line with the corners and stuff, but it's actually a pretty hard track without racing line with the Ascari and the Lesmos, in my opinion.
Electro Dan going up from trying to go around the outside, and Honey Badger's wide after locking up. There's contact between the Williams and Yaram and Dan, and they make it through Ascari side by side. But Honey Badger is just falling down the positions. He's struggling. Here comes Yaram on the Toro Rosso, take us through to C3.
Well, as you can see, I'm going through Parabolica, but he does get a bad exit, which might get Electrodon into it again, as we're heading down the long main straight, as Electrodon has DRS. He's on the inside line right now. It's gonna be an easy move. If not, Jaram comes back at him. He will be coming back for the inside line, but he can't really do it there. A little kissing in the corner too. That is the fun thing about this track. You can come back after you've been passed too. As they're coming through curve around, he's trying to find his way around the outside.
How close do you want to get between the Williams and the Red Bull Honda, the Toro Rosso Honda? Getting a jump on that one, aren't I? They're basically the same car anyway.
He's gonna go for it once again into the first Lesmo, and he gets past this time.
Honey Badger joining in too, passing him.
Honey Badger is taking advantage of the Toro Rosso's compromised line.
They've both got DRS, a drag strip down here. Honey Badger's going to beat it because he's on the soft compound of tyres. But here comes Dan. He's going to try and make a move down the inside, try and scare Honey Badger. No, he's gone for it. That's a long way back, and he has kissed the Mercedes, but to no avail. If anything, he's halfway through. Honey Badger, big moment on traction out of Ascari. He is going to be counting his chickens there for such a catch. Maybe save of the season right there.
Oh, it's definitely up there.
Whoa!
Ooh, as he looks up into the parabolica.
That was great. Just on my knowledge of Formula 1 with the crash, that was just fantastic how he clipped his tyre and the smoke came out with a lockup.
Oh, I'm telling you, he's locked up quite a few times already now, so...
He's not happy, is he?
He's gonna start struggling with those tires soon.
Small lockup on the inside as he tries to get past Electro Dan. Whoa, big slide there on Honey Badger. His rear end's absolutely cooked. You can tell it already.
But he does have a good exit, so he will be trying for the move. In curve around as he goes around the outside.
Oops, wrong way around, sorry.
This corner is a funny one. I've never actually been sure which line is the best to try to overtake there.
Lee Nell in P13 is now the fastest man on track after stopping.
Oh yeah, but look at the guys up front though. They have managed to get themselves a good gap at the moment.
Honey Badger looking to make a move into Ascari now. Electro Dan has a wing problem. He's got damage on that wing. So something's happened that caused Dan to go side by side. A little bit of a touch there, I believe. And another big slide from Honey Badger, struggling on exit there. But Gold Colors, who's hunting down these guys, is just received a time penalty as well. Electro Dan has got to start thinking. He's going to start burning out his tyres. Just let him through.
Well, one thing's for sure, those mediums are up to optimum temperature now. There's still a slower down tire at the moment, but with that front wing damage,
he's very quick on the straights, isn't he?
Good teammates, I would have let him by if he catches up.
But look at Electro Dan on the straights. With that damaged wing, he's just absolutely rocketing past.
Well, I mean, maybe he's probably getting a little less downforce, so he should be hitting a slightly higher top speed then. But you can see Honey Badger going around his outside again in Curva Grande.
We've seen it before. There's almost contact between Dan and Honey Badger. And Honey Badger getting the control back on. Ryan Van Doom losing a position to his own teammate. Ryan Van Doom GP3 showing that he can be playful with the GP2 guys as well. He had a great start in France, but to no avail, finishing outside of the points this time in P6. He wants to start performing to how he should be. Potentially looking for a seat in GP2 as well. Can you imagine that, having someone transition from GP3 to GP2?
If he keeps driving like this, I wouldn't see any reason he couldn't drive her. You say it like that.
I think the other reason, the other reason is either the fact that he's a championship contender in GP3, so we would be a little bit more reluctant to move them due to the fact of maybe trying not to kill the championship.
Well, end of the season though.
End of the season, yeah. That is provided if people actually still have the get the. Oh, Honey Badger in
behind right now though. Yeah, that's probably, as I said, his tires is getting tired of being locked up all the time, and he probably lost most of the grip.
He's going to go on an alternate strategy. The medium tires, they'll make it to the end of the Grand Prix. They won't be particularly fast at the end of the Grand Prix, but they'll make it to the end of it. 22 laps of racing. Sure.
But I'm telling you, those first few laps on those mediums, with no ABS, will be horrible. And that's kind of where he needs to be able to keep. Yeah, well, big show.
Look at that. He's got a damaged front wing and he's on the infield at turns 1 and 2. And that's his race over. Barring any safety car, he has a damaged front wing and fresh medium tyres. He's just destroyed.
Yeah, that's really not what he wanted.
Definitely not. And he was wiggling the car there to try and work out how much the damage is without looking at the machine. I think, he's going to have to pit with that damage. The entire end plate's gone.
Well, I would say yellow front wing.
Pedal Solheim in?
Maybe orange, and you can't drive with that much front wing damage on this track. You're losing way too much time and speed with that, and you would only drop further and further down, so might as well pit and hope for a safety car.
Owen and Peter Solheim both going for the same strategy as Honey Badger now to try and cover him off. Gotta say, I love Peter Solheim's helmet in the McLaren, but now that makes our race leader Mike Bundy in the Mercedes hunting down by Farfa and Yaram in the Renault and the Williams.
Interesting. So they're pitting for mediums. That could be interesting with Bundy and Fartborough, because if they go a few more laps, they should be able to take the softs to the end.
And Honey Badger with a time penalty. He's retired from the session. Honey Badger on debut decides he's had enough of this, and he'll wait till next week in Hockenheim to show his talents again.
Another great circuit there.
We love Hockenheim.
Oh, but look at this though. Yarham is closing up to Fartborough. Fartborough, as soft tires should be the quicker tires now.
They've definitely come into their own now, the soft tyre runners, and just think about the medium tyres. They'll be coming in a few laps as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. But will Fartborough pit on this lap? He's still going, so he will be looking for to go on to soft tires.
The attack coming though from Yaram Williams. He's got no ERS left whatsoever.
Oh,
So he's going to chuck it at the inside from a far way back. That's long further back, and that's almost only a disaster for Fartborough, showing that he can say, you can't dive bomb me, I'll break even later.
He should have gone for the switchback there. He had the opportunity, but he will have the opportunity into this next left-hander. Side by side, he will outbrake him this time.
No spinning car like Sebastian Vettel, but now Fartborough, he seems quicker in these corners. He's going to try and get it. Undrivable says, unbelievable says Tom. Yeah, you seem to be struggling with that car, mate, but you're going to have to hopefully improve, hopefully get used to it again for what's it called, Hockenheim next week. Fartborough really enjoying
Sagers,
that.
Is that
that's Honey Badger, yeah.
Too bad for him today. Hockenheim, that is another good track.
Well, last season we saw T. Jonas have an absolute nightmare there. He ran wide and span across the track and destroyed his front wing just after coming out of the pit lane. So we can see what happens there. I think that was one of the defining moments of the championship last season.
He's going into the pit. 16 laps left. He should be able to take the softs for that long, actually. So gonna be interesting to see which tires he goes for. He goes for the medium tires, which...
Whoa! Odd call there from Toro Rosso saying Electro Dan let gold colours through in turn one. Right at the end, Electro Dan let him through, and it almost ended in disaster. Here comes Owen on JB Ogun. JB Ogun down the inside, letting the driver through. The GP3 driver knowing that his race is not with the medium tyre runner.
Well, I mean, for him, it's a good experience just to be in this race. Like, just to be against quicker drivers. You kind of see what lines they take, which could improve you in the long run. One of the reasons I like to drive with quicker drivers, instead of just kind of equal pace drivers. Oh. Well, obviously, he wants a good position, though.
Honey Badger has come in and he said that he's not happy with people taking out the braking boards on the formation lap. Hopefully that's not down to hopefully that isn't out of any malice. That will be investigated, I think, by the stewards. Obviously, don't want anyone to be taking people out on taking things out on the formation lap that affect the race. But now Electro Dan on the back of his own teammate. No call yet for Mike Bundy to come into pit lane.
He's going for that. He's going to the soft tires.
Will Toro also swap back paces? No, not yet. Mike Bundy still in P1, enjoying that, but he's been closed down a lot by Yaram. Yaram still yet to pit. On board though with Fartborough, looking to pass JB Ogun.
The question is, how quick can Yaram go on these laps before he pits now? Because he's in a prime position right now with drivers like Petter and Owen on the medium tires. They shouldn't be quicker than Yarham at this point. So
JB Ogun bumping Fartborough a lot. Oh, sorry to show you that. JB Ogun bumping Fartborough a lot there, like he's sketchy, says Shane. Yeah, that was a little bit sketchy, to be honest, there from JB. I think that might be investigated as well, because he seemed to, I don't know. I don't want to say that he let his T&R teammate through purposefully, and then he's blocking Fartborough. I don't think that's how they play. I know the runner of that league. Oh, they clipped there on the way up into Ascari. He's already ahead. JB Ogre's got to calm down a little bit. Mike Bundy does pit. I know the man who runs TNR, and I don't believe at all he would allow that. So I might have a word with him just to reiterate that's not how you can drive. I mean, I know exactly. I think you know exactly what I mean.
I gotta say, I didn't see the incident, so can't really comment on that.
Yep, obviously you can only comment on what you say. This should be good, so Shane. Yeah, it should be good indeed. The race is always good, though. We're going to look at Fester as he comes up behind Ryan Van Doom.
Look at the Ferrari, though. coming back at the Renault into turn 1. Looks like he wanted to try it, but he didn't go for it. Obviously, he's still yet to pit, so his tires should be starting to feel worse. Lap after lap now.
Ryan Van Doom trying to go around the outside of the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo power versus Williams Mercedes power. It hasn't happened yet. I don't think Ryan can make the move. He's gone for the dive bomb, and he's actually got it right. Look at that.
Not a bad move. Not a bad move at all.
Race coming alive now. As you look at Linnell, this will be team orders here, I believe. He's on the quicker strategy. Right? No, sorry, he's not. Smelly Badger has just pitted. So Linnell has he's got to pass him and get his move on if he's pitting this lap, because it could be time for them to pit. He's going to go round the outside of his teammate. Not going to make it too difficult as Yaram does pit. 13 laps on his tyres done.
Smelly Badger letting it through. Renault is closing in on the Mercedes of Bundy, that is. And you can see there, that is Bundy pulling off a good strategy. He's gotten ahead of O&O by going onto the soft tyres, and yeah, I don't see O&O.
Oh, they're coming past Yaram! They're trying to get Yaram! Yaram is going to go into the back of the Mercedes! Yaram spearing into the Mercedes! That was Yaram on cold tyres, not realising how little grip he'd have. Just hitting the back of that, and Bundy very lucky not to spin there as Yaram tries to stay on the inside of Owen. It has happened, but who knows for how long. Those tyres still cold, obviously travelling down the pit lane. They're skimming, they're bumping, and Yaram is ahead. For now.
Oh, but look at that move, though. He's going for the switchback. He didn't really get it. I got such a bad camera angle right there, but he didn't get it. But there is more opportunities with these long straights.
It really is interesting to watch this. Yeah, battles galore all over the place as IndyCar test seems to be opening up now. But now it's Renault's biggest problem now. Do they let Farfra through? He's on warmed up tyres. He's on 3 laps younger tyres than Owens. Is he going to come through? Owens now going to go past Yaram as best he can. It's going to be a Renault attack on the Williams. Look at the formation drive there. He's getting through. He's got down the inside of Yaram. There is contact. But this time, look at Farfra guiding Yaram off the track, cutting across his teammate now. And now it's going to be a big trade. No sense of team orders here for the Renault team. They're going to try and block the road for the Williams.
Oh, and they're going to make it 3 wide into turn 1.
There's going to be contact in a minute.
They don't.
No, there isn't.
But who can get the best? Oh, and
Owen with a time penalty now. As my cat's come over, she doesn't like it when I shout, but when I get excited, I do shout quite a bit. But now Yaram down the outside, trying to go around the outside of Farfra. Farfra ain't going to give that up, but he has. Past him, then there's contact there, and a big piece of Renault's wing flies off. Look at that.
And it's from the Renault, I believe, so...
Yeah, you look at the understeer he's got there, that's major wing damage on the Renault. He's ready for 2019 wing now. Owens almost making contact with him there. Renault squabbling over positions, a costing on time in his Grand Prix.
Well, don't take it for sure. There's 2 guys who are pretty happy with this, and that is Bundy and Petter, because they're not getting pressured at all.
Oh dear, oh god, oh me! Oh, the Renault's making me just say absolute oh no's there as he tries to go round the outside. Farfra is not giving it up. He's not happy with his teammate being as quick as him now, so he's going to try and battle his way past him. You're going to thought at some point they've got to think, okay, we're teammates, enough's enough.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
No, definitely not.
Keep going right at each other, but like, really though, if Owen can get ahead and like be able to stick ahead for a few corners with that full front wing, he should be able to pull away. Obviously, with a bad turn 1, he gives Farfbro a possibility into
Electro Dan running into the back of Smelly Badger. Sorry to interrupt you, mate. Electro Dan just misjudging his point, seeing there was a gap that was closing, and absolutely bumped into the Red Bull. But that battle's over now.
Did get past again into the left-hander. Can never remember what that corner is called.
It's not
He's struggling
Kanai.
so much in these leftmost corners though, so he's not being able to pull away, and he will once again be attacked into a scar. We see them go side by side again though, and they're going side by side into Scary.
Sector 3, yellow flag to Ryan Van Doom. No, it's not. What happened there? There was yellow flags briefly in Sector 2, and now we have blue flags enabled here as they start to lap, I think, Psychomich. Here comes Farfra down the inside of Parabolica. His teammate jumping out the way. Better than any normal race, I'll be honest.
Right now.
Yeah, it is. This is absolutely fantastic racing right now. DRS active on Farfra's car.
It is Farfra with DRS.
But look at Owen's pace he's got. JB Ogan and Fefster Pit. He's still pulled alongside him, even with...
and he's diving it on the outside.
There's contact. He hits his barge board heavily, damaging the floor of the other Renault. And this is a fantastic little race they've got between here. Smelly Badger now hunting down Electro Dan. Hasn't happened there. So we'll see back with the Renaults. We'll call this the Renault Rampage, I believe.
And Owen going down the inside.
Oh, they're racing like they're not even teammates. Look at this.
They're going to go side by side into the first Lesmo. Owen trying to hang it around the outside. Still there.
Somebody message Ferrari and tell them that they have to let Charles and Sebastian race like this.
They will never do that.
No, God,
unfortunately.
Down inside comes Owen. I've even forgotten who they are now. Down inside of Owen. Descari and Farfra cuts the corner heavily. That's just turning in too early, getting too eager on the turn-in. Well, that's very pretty.
But he will be having DRS again down the main straight.
Trying to find any gap. Shane coming up with the best comment yet. Shane's come up with the best comment yet. These guys are Verstappen and Ricciardo 2.0. Yeah, just in the yellow car. DRS open. Here comes Farfra.
Verstappen and Ricciardo. They haven't crashed each other out yet.
No, they haven't done a Baku yet. It's coming. There comes a point when you got to think. I think we've been to Baku this season. I'll have to have a look for a second. They are on track now on the IndyCar, so we haven't noticed that. But I will check. If you can run through what's happening on the track right now as I look for it.
Well, I mean, at the moment we still have the two Renaults going right at each other, going into the Lesmos. Almost seems like Farfbro is pulling a little away now, which is kind of odd with the front wing damage for Farfbro, but he's not pulling enough away though, and Ono will have DRS going down to Ascari. Will he try to dive it down the inside this time? He won't, he's too far behind, but with a good Ascari he can still try it down the main straight. As we can see that Farfbro is looking like he's cutting the last corner in Ascari because of his front wing damage.
God trying to get us the pit lane.
Much pace as possible.
Just checked. Baku is 2 weeks away. We got it after Germany.
So that's when we're going to see Ricciardo Verstappen scenario.
Hopefully not. But Owen closing in, and yes, the Williams closing in as well. But they're coming out right ahead of Gore Colours, so that's going to make it even more fun as the Gore Colours got to clear these guys now. Peter Solheim, P1, Farfra doing a masterclass with damage.
He's really doing that at the moment, but with God Colors behind them, and he is on fresh, super soft tires. He's just 1.5 seconds behind. He is going to close that gap in, well, probably this lap.
Lee now the fastest down on track.
Attacking them aggressively then.
Yeah, God Colours is not going to hold off anything against the Norwegian and the British drivers. But the Englishman ahead is trying his hardest to hold back his teammate. He wants a good result, and he's close to it. But right now, Gorko's 3 tenths away. Look at the grip. He took him like less than half a lap to get past.
Yeah, even quicker than that was.
Owen down the inside.
As the Renault is trying to go side by side into the score
Golf
again.
Colours is going to get one of them into Parabolica, I think. Don't know which one it's going to be, though.
That depends. If he's smart, he's staying behind for the main straight. Taking the slipstream and the DRS and blist past them, because if he gets first into the first corner, then his grip will just make him fly away from them.
Here we go!
Going down the main straight.
3 wide in Italy. One driver sacked behind the other one to try and get some more slipstream to attack the Toro Rosso, but Toro Rosso sailing past.
And the one Renault is boxed in.
They're guiding each other off, and Owens has to give up a position.
Oh, he did not want to do that.
Toro Rosso getting through without even hoping for a crash there. And Linell faster once more. Gotta say, God Colours may have just killed that battle as far for against a time penalty.
Yeah, that should equal them on time penalties, I believe. With that damaged front wing, we might see Ono catching up again. Hopefully we do. It's actually catching a little already.
Looking away from the Renaults, because there are other cars in this race, JB Hogan hunting down Festa for P11 right now in the Ferrari. We only have 8 laps of racing to go. That's absolutely gone flying, hasn't it?
It really has, and that's just Monza for you.
This shows how great this is. I wouldn't call him a friend, but I marshal motorsports events. I don't know if I told you. I marshaled with a bloke who was one of the experienced marshals at Monza. He was from the town of Monza.
But look at this now. Pulgin is losing a little time before Scari. So it doesn't look like we're getting a battle between the Ferrari and the Sauber, I believe it was.
Sorry, water in mouth. We're just looking at Ryan Van Doom right now, our favourite supervillain, closing in on Hogan. I think Owen's tyres are starting to take a bit of a beating. They're 12 laps old, and I think at the top as well, 12 laps old are starting to show a bit of wear. Mike Bundy looking to get past Penner Solheim as soon as possible to take back-to-back wins at SFR GP2. It's possible, he can do it, but he's got to get up there and pass him.
Oh, but look at Ryan Van Doom though. He's almost within DRS range now.
The GP3 driver. Go on.
Yeah, you might have a point with his tires being beaten up by the battle with his teammate for O'Neill. Well, that might be the issue he's having right now. These mediums, though, they should be able.
Yeah, one of them's gone to lap 18 and lap 19, I think. Excuse me, for T. Jonas further down the field, but that's not doing him any favours. He's 10 seconds away from JB Hogan.
A little out of Ascari, so we're gonna have to wait a little more for that battle at the moment. I think this is the first time we don't have a battle in this race, actually.
I think it is as well. Podolver coming out of pit lane though, he's going to be right in the middle of it, and blue flags will start waving as he's been lapped by the P14 time. So that shows that he's struggling in GP2. The GP3 driver, he got a podium last week in. He hasn't come out. He hasn't been lapped by him. He's right up behind his other GP3 compatriot in Psychomich.
I mean. Oh, well, I didn't actually notice that, but that is our battle at the moment. So, half a lap we had without a battle then.
T. Jonas coming into pit lane. We've just been branded by Shane. Well, thank you, Shane. We've got the Renaults of Verstappen and Ricciardo 2.0, and we are David Croft and Martin Brundle 2.0. I wonder who's who. I think, knowing me, I'll be David Croft because I'm overexcited.
I'll take both, because being Norwegian, it's like...
I've heard the commentary in Norway is terrible.
Then apparently my accent isn't too bad, at least.
Yeah, but I've heard the commentary on the Formula 1 in Norwegian is terrible. Like, they're monotone. They don't, make any emotions at all.
You know the worst thing about the Norwegian commentators? Like, they are so bad. Like, so bad.
Here comes Oliver.
Unbelievably bad.
Oliver, Danny inside. Right, Festa retiring in sector 3. Is that enough to bring out a safety car? Probably gets the time penalty for cutting the corner. Now Owen on the back. He's taken a few laps, but he's on the back of his teammate again.
It started up again.
Here we go again, folks.
He's slipping a little behind again, but these Renaults, they've been entertaining us the whole race, basically.
It really is insane. Vettel leaving the session after crashing out, I believe. Ryan Van Doom getting a 3-second time penalty. Might put it under pressure from Electro Dan, but I think Electro Dan's got time penalties as well. But this is the first time we've seen the Renaults battling hard on track. But time's running out at the top. Peter Solheim still in P1. Mike Bundy's tyres, 10-lap-old softs. Maybe they're starting to get worse rather than getting better.
They might be, actually, because Bundy was just 1.8 behind a few laps ago, so he has lost a little time again. That could also just be Peter, who's been pushing a little harder the last few laps too. We really don't know that, but it's just 2 seconds.
Yeah. One time penalty from Peter Solheim, and that could be the race. I don't know if Bundy's got any penalties. Heglu's saying he needs to buy the F1 TV pass. Impossible to watch F1 on TV in Norway. See, I follow a lot more racing than just Formula 1. I watch Formula E and lots of other ones like Touring Car, World Endurance. I race in a World Endurance series now. Like all great Formula 1 drivers that don't race in Formula 1 anymore, they go to World Endurance. Psychobits, contact between Psychobits and Owen. The blue flagged car, unfortunately, just sticking in one position that he did not expect.
Difficult corner to get out of the way there. But he has a point though. Like the Norwegian's commentators are utterly bad.
Set to 1 and 2. Who is that? There was a yellow flag as T. Jonas gets another time penalty in P12. He's pushing off a fast lap. He's out of the session, though! T. on a spear across the track. He's out of safety car. He's blocked the entire track. Well, his teammate's going to take avoiding action, though. We're going to keep looking at this as long as it's there. But what an accident. T. John's... Whoa! Gold Collar's having to go around the outside of him. But look at that. T. Jonas, a day goes wildly for the defending champion, who is out of the session. That was a hefty hit as well.
Unbelievable, we didn't get a safety car there.
The safety car in this game's horrendous. We had one last night in GP3. Not even sure what time the crash was for. I think it was just for a broken front wing.
Electro Dan is right on the back of Ryan Van Doom right now.
Is that tyre related? Because Ryans are very, very old, very suffering.
Should be, yeah. A couple of laps fresher mediums for Electro Dan, but at this stage of the race, those few laps would, I guess, like maybe a 10% wear around there more, shouldn't make that big of a difference.
Well, here we go now. 4 temps between them. Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more extra laps in the race. The race could go on forever. Yeah, forever, and we really enjoy it. But we have only got a 50% race here, and we're heading towards the end of the race. Electro Dan on the back of the Williams, Ryan Van Doom, showing why he should be in GP2. But again, I think you'll have to wait a bit unless the team snatches it up again. Championship contender, and look who's got close to his teammates again.
Oh no, not again.
Electro Dan down the inside into Ascari. It's a long way back, and Ryan decides not to fight it.
Yeah, looks like he just let him pass there. It is at the end of the race. He might have realized that he would get past on the straight if he didn't get past there, so he might also just try to get back at him right now.
Here we go, Renault battle number 479 in this race. DRS Open as Owen tries to get past his teammate for P5. This battle, the scoreboard may have cost him.
Inside line.
I think this battle has cost at least one of them a podium this weekend. This week even.
Oh yeah.
Nonetheless though, thoroughly entertaining.
As two drivers would have been on the podium at least.
We're on the penultimate lap of the race now. On board with Ryan Van Doom, he's a lot further back, and I think that's tyre related. I think his tyres are absolutely cooked. He's on 16-lap-old tyres. To be fair, we could be heading towards puncher territory with Owen, who's on 17-lap-old tyres.
It shouldn't be puncher territory yet. I know the mediums can go 22 laps.
Still there though. Sector 2's yellow flags. Who is that?
Kill your theory there. But look at this though. He will be coming back at his teammate once again. Can we see them too wide in Ascari again?
No, not yet. He wants to bail them on the straights now. I think Farfar is wise to his tricks. Look at that, he's using all the track and then some. I can't believe they're making it to the end of this race, to be fair. Last lap of the race. Here in Monza, and Pato Solheim creeping his way to try and win the Grand Prix. As contact between the Renaults, almost a brake test between the teammates. I think that was just Farfra struggling on traction there. Only a few more times for Owen to get past Farfra. DRS open on him. Is it going to be a Verstappen moment? No, there isn't. Farfra going to the outside.
He's got to brake late this time. But he should have gotten the moves to stick now. Can Farfra come back at him through Curva Grande?
He had to lift off there. He had to lift off.
Oh,
Lionel passing his teammate into T1. Here comes Farfra. Look at the inside. There's contact there, and they do touch this time.
They do come through the corner though and into the Lesmos.
I've got to keep track of where Pato Solheim is because I've got to see him for the end of the race. Keep us through what's happening here because Pato Solheim coming up towards Parabolica.
Keep it through, and at the moment Farfra is still on the back of Owen.
I'm going to have to interrupt you now because Pato Solheim coming through Parabolica now. He's weaving. Pato Solheim wins the race in P1 ahead of Mike Bundy in P2, Yarum in P3.
And Farfra has a bad exit from Ascari. He might have.
Here goes Electro Dan on Farfra down the inside. There's contact here. He's bumped his way through. Farfra's been set wide, and I think Farfra's lost P6 right now.
Oh, and he's gonna lose P7 on penalty too, I believe.
No, he hasn't. Lionel, though, on the back of his teammate. Red Bull finally looking for it. They qualified outside of the points this time. They finished very close together, but less than a tenth of a second. Lionel only gets 1 point. What an absolutely fantastic race there.
Oh, it really has been a good one, hasn't it? Oh, I don't think we noticed it, but the Force India seems to. It's probably after the finish line, I think.
Yarum got kicked from the section as soon as he crossed the finish line. What a race there. Absolutely fantastic. So there it is. Pato Solheim.
It happened before.
Yeah, he's very lucky.
It didn't happen before I'm in.
Pato Solheim in P1 ahead of Mike Bundy in P2 and what's your name? Yarum is in P3. Maybe that's 2 McLaren wins in 2 days. Is it going to be McLaren winning tomorrow in Premier 2? Is it going to be McLaren all 3 divisions? Who knows?
Oh, could be.
There are already questions in the chat between drivers, but let's have a look at these positions, barring any stewards' reviews. Because Pato Solheim is in P1 ahead of Mike Bundy in P2, Yarum is in P3, Godclose is in P4, and Owen, pole sitter, finishing in P5. Electro Dan scraping through into P6, controversially, and then Farfra finishing in P7. Ryan Van Doom, the GP3 driver, starting where he finished in P8, and Melly Badger and Lionel, the Red Bull drivers, finishing P9 and P10 outside of the points and scoring no points, is JB Ogan in P11 and Pro Oliver in P12, who I believe may have crashed out. No, he didn't, sorry. Psychomich in P13. Drivers who did not make it to the flag of this race were T. Jonas in P14, Fefster, Honey Badger, Stunted Crumpets, C. Pazzi, and Orchard Sox did not make it. So 3 Irishman did not make it to the end of this race. When's the next race I'm commentating? Well, tomorrow I'm commentating the Premier Division on this channel, and we'll be seeing them. I'm not sure who I've got for commentary with me. Before we do talk about that, though, I'm going to bring the guys in who we need to have a chat with this race. We're looking for We're looking for Pato Solheim, Yarum, and who was the other one? Bundy. You're right. Thank you. Completely blonde moment. Let's get a Norwegian in here. Where is Bundy? There he is. Yeah, lucky you. And let's get Yarum in here too. Do apologise for the screen going blue. That's this one. I think he'll want to be invited on this one. Paolo Solheim has joined us in the commentary booth. There we go. And we got Bundy in here too. Just to make sure, have both of you gentlemen got your voices out to share? But nonetheless, that was a brilliant race, wasn't it, Z-Chester?
It was a real crack of a race. Can't lie, no. It was... I don't think we had more than half a lap without the battle, so pretty much.
I don't think we can ever mention this race without mentioning the Renault's rampage between each other. Though, questionably, it did cost one of them a podium today, didn't it?
But one of the Renaults would have probably been on the podium at least. So maybe a bit of more teamwork next time could be a good idea.
Well, it was news to both of them. I don't believe Yoram is joining us for commentary. What's called for the podium interviews. So we'll start it with Mike Bundy. Last week's winner in France. How did that go for you, mate?
It wasn't a bad race, was it?
No, that's entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bit crowded out at the start. I'm not really sure what happened. There was a couple of people went off in front of me. And then it was about just knuckling down. I knew I was going to do probably a different strategy to everyone else. So it's just trying to make my tyres last as long as possible in that first stint to get me a better place for the second stint. And then the second stint was so boring. I was trying to catch Pedder and just couldn't catch him enough.
Story of the season there, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, good race for you, bad race for you?
That was a good race. I mean, it started P6, so I'll take second. And considering my main championship rival at the start today, well, the leader of the championship finished P5, 6. So, but then there's Pedder now, who's clocked up some more points. So yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Just a little bit more points he got. Obviously our previous championship leader was Mike Bundy. No, it wasn't. It was Electra Dan, who finished in P6. So it's going to get really interesting to see how that fares as the race goes on. Next week off to Hockenheim. Are you confident you can be back on the top step there?
Well, we'll see. I mean, Hockenheim's a great circuit. I really enjoy it, but that turn 1 is going to give some penalties out to everyone probably. So it's all about whoever gets the least penalties.
Turn 1 is very difficult.
Sling some cars off too, I think.
Just repeat there for me there, Z-Chester, because I'm deaf as hell.
Well, I mean, he's mentioning penalties in turn 1 at Germany, and that is one of the problems with turn 1. The other problem is that if you don't get the corner right, it can sling you pretty much hard into the wall too.
Yeah, it was very difficult.
It's a difficult corner as well because they used to put Bullard there on some of the old games, and now they've got rid of it, so you can't really see the entry point as well. I
think Hockenheim took it out themselves, because in fairness, they didn't really need it there. I don't think we'll see what happened to Felipe Massa happen in 2014, though. Should hope we don't see that, at least.
No.
But nonetheless, you're hopefully looking forward to a good race over in Germany.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more. I mean, tonight there was a lot more people who could have potentially won this race. I mean, there was the Renault. Both of the Renaults were rapid. Well, Timo was rapid at the start, and then I'm guessing he had an incident or something. And then Yaram and the two Toro Rossos as well.
He's made a very big complaint that people were taking out brake marker boards in the formation lap. So I think that'll be investigated. Nonetheless, though, brilliant race from you. If you don't mind, we'll leave you for a minute and you can have a nice drink, and we'll move you on to our Norwegian winner. I mean, we normally see you at the top step. We don't see you anywhere else, do you, Pedder?
What? Can you repeat that?
We don't normally see you anywhere else apart from the top step of the podium, do we?
No, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of practice on this circuit, but I did a great start and just have my own race from that. So it was kind of boring to watch, I think, but for me, it was really hard because I had to keep Mike Bundy behind me, and he was gaining a lot of time when he switched to soft tires, and I'm on the mediums. So I'm kind of angry at myself because I go in the pit so early, because I think if I've gone longer on the super soft, I'll probably have a better strategy. But it was a good race.
So you're more annoyed at strategy. Are you not annoyed that you didn't have to battle anyone past that one?
Yeah, it was kind of boring. I always keep looking for a good fight, and today was just me, and I have to keep my head cold and drive safe. So yeah, that was my race today.
Going on to next week in Germany, are you looking forward to heading to the Hockenheim Ring? Obviously not the circuit everyone else loves, but it's still a good track nonetheless, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm one of those who kind of love the circuit, because it's one of the circuits that I really did get the top 1,000 in the world, I think. So it's kind of where I started my career as an esport gamer. So I kind of like the circuit, and I hope it will be a good fight.
Well, nonetheless, we're happy to have seen you back in SpeedForce Racing after, I think you were away for a week, weren't you?
Yeah, I couldn't do last week's race, so it was really good to be back on the top.
Well, looking forward to a question to both drivers, starting with Bundy and then you, Peder. We only have 2 weeks until the dreaded city circuit, Baku. Are you guys going to start? Are you guys, when you think you're good on Germany, do you think you're going to look forward to Baku early, or are you going to do the natural thing of doing all Germany practice, then Baku afterwards?
Well, I've just done another league race, as you know, around Baku, so I've got some practice in there. So I'll probably just do Germany practice this next week.
Peder?
When I'm bored, I like to race the Baku because it's a really fun track, especially when you're alone. I don't think it's so fun when everyone else trying to crash out, but it's a very fun circuit. But I think I will focus on Germany in next week in the first time. So.
Well, I'm really excited for Baku. I know you're excited as well, Chester, aren't you?
Oh, well, Baku's. Well, it's pretty much my favorite track, and it always brings chaos and great racing for that matter. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Okay, so congratulations to both podium sitters and Yaron for coming in third place. Well done to you guys. You're now free to go off into the ether or do whatever you like. You can stay here, you can go. I don't mind. You're not my problem anymore. But still, Z-Chexter, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was this race?
Well, I mean, I gotta give this one a 10, to be honest. It was that Renault battle really spiced it up, and without that battle, it probably would have been a little different, but those really gave us something to watch out for this race.
It really was exciting, and I think I'm going to agree and go for another 10 out of 10. You might even go for the dizzying heights of 11 if it hadn't been slightly more battles on the track for a while of it, but nonetheless it was fantastic. So what's happening next in SFR? Well, we'll be seeing the Premier Division take on the mighty Autodromo Nazionale Monza tomorrow, with Z-Chester taking his way in his Red Bull. I believe you drive Red Bull, don't you?
Well, I'm not sure yet, actually. Haven't seen anything about it yet, but I mean, I'll take the car I'll get. I think
Are you
Haas,
excited?
actually.
Oh, you Haas tomorrow, okay. You excited for tomorrow, though?
Oh, definitely. As I said, Monza is one of my favorite tracks too. It's one of the tracks I'm quicker at too, so hopefully I can get my race together there and get a decent finish. I'm not expecting a win there with some of the drivers in the Prem.
Well, nonetheless, if you're excited for that, that's happening tomorrow at 7:30 UK time. I'll be taking you through that with possibly either Alex on commentary, or I'll bring Twan back if he's available. Nonetheless, this has been an absolutely fantastic Grand Prix. Thank you, Z-Chexter, for joining us on commentary.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And congratulations to all of the podium sitters. As always, a fantastic race, as we always have at Monza. But we have one more to go this week before we head off to Germany next week. My name is JB. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time for SpeedForce Racing. Have a very good night. Ta-ra, guys.